Greetings, nerds and virgins. UFC 251 is almost here, and it is very stacked. UFC 250 was terrible. I didn't even watch UFC 250. I didn't even pay for it. I don't even know who fought at UFC 250. But UFC 251 is different, especially the fact that you have Jorge Masvidal instead of Gilbert Burns. I think that Gilbert Burns would have beaten Kamaru Usman if they had fought each other stylistically. And although I think Jorge Masvidal has less of a chance to beat Kamaru Usman than Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal is always fun to watch, and he has such a interesting personality. So I think it's gonna be more interesting, more of a fan-pleasing fight, especially towards the casual fans. And you know UFC 251 is stacked when you have Volkanovski main eventing the prelims. Now I know that UFC sometimes or often they have big names in the prelims main event so that they can get good ratings on TV. They used Alistair Overeem versus Curtis Blades in the pay-per-view, and they used them for prelims main events. So I think that's what's happening here. But anyways, you have Volkanovski in the prelims. That's how good this card is. So Volkanovski versus Jiri Prochazka. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but I think Volkanovski takes this one. Jiri Prochazka is a rising champion, and he had many finishes in his career. So I thought that, wow, he's a thug. But I watched this highlight before making this video, and it wasn't that impressive. Especially his opponents were not like high caliber, I think. And he wasn't like starching people. Like, he was finishing people, but he wasn't starching people. And Volkanovski has very good chin. He has one of the best chins, and he hits pretty hard. He doesn't hit as hard as he thinks he does. Like, he says, I got no time, and he nicknamed himself Volkan No Time Uzdemir. I mean, he does hit hard, clearly. However, he's not like Anthony Johnson type of knockout power guy. But however, I think Volkanovski is more experienced at this point of his career. Volkanovski is a very, very experienced veteran in UFC. I think he has more than like 5 bouts in UFC, maybe like 7 bouts in UFC. He's a veteran. And Jiri Prochazka is not as experienced as Volkanovski, and I don't think if he has good chin to take Volkanovski shots, and I don't think if he's a UFC caliber yet. So I'm gonna go with Volkanovski. I think he could finish him, but probably I think he's gonna win by decision. And then we go to Amanda Ribas versus Paige VanZant. I'm gonna go with Amanda Ribas. Because I mean, Amanda Ribas is like a thug in a city, but Paige VanZant is like a thug in a town. Amanda Ribas is a high caliber fighter. I could see her like maybe challenging for the title in the next 3 years, but I don't see Paige VanZant challenging for the title ever. I think Paige VanZant is a very good fighter. She's very talented, but I don't think if she's as hungry as Amanda Ribas, or I don't think if she's as skilled as Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas has very good grappling. I think she has very good striking as well. I think she would dominate, maybe not dominate, but I think she would win in the grappling department. I just think that she's a better fighter than Paige VanZant, so I'm gonna go with Amanda Ribas. So Next up is just Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. In the first fight, I went for Jessica Andrade, but not for the right reason. I thought she would knock her out I thought she would knock her out or win by decision on the feet, but not by slamming her on the mat. She was losing the stand-up battle in the first round. She was getting knocked down by a knee. She was getting outclassed. Basically, she got a little bit lucky. I mean, she was lucky. Like, if Rose wasn't holding on to that Kimura, she wouldn't have gotten knocked out. So I think Rose Namajunas take this one. I think she's longer. Like Jessica Andrade, all she does is throwing hooks. She is powerful. She has pretty good chin. Maybe she is the most powerful fighter in the women's strawweight division. I think she has the best core power. I think she has the best wrestling power. She has very good cardio. She has very good chin. Maybe not after she got knocked down by Rose Namajunas and knocked out by Zhang Weili. But I think Rose Namajunas has very good chin. She has cardio to go 3 rounds, no problem. She has very good jiu-jitsu, very good grappling. I think her striking is probably the best. Like I think her striking is better than Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and I think she's gonna finish her this time. I think Rose Namajunas knocks out Jessica Andrade in this fight. Next up is Jose Aldo versus Petr Yan. This fight is the hardest fight for me to pick because I haven't seen much from Petr Yan. I mean, we have seen some, maybe like 5 fights from Petr Yan in the UFC, but the problem is Petr Yan hasn't faced the best of the best of the best. Like, he beat Jimmy Rivera, he beat the double chin Uriah Faber, and he knocked him out brutally. But that was Uriah Faber coming out of retirement, not the immediate match after coming out of retirement, but he was definitely out of his prime. But Jose Aldo, although many people think, and I, including me, think that he's out of his prime, but he is constantly beating these guys. Like, I thought he was gonna get KO'd by Jeremy Stevens, but he TKO'd him with a beautiful body shot. I thought he was going to lose to Renato Moicano, but he actually beat Renato Moicano by TKO. And although it was a close fight, he beat Marlon Moraes. He got robbed. It was close. And he's way more experienced. We've only seen one fight from bantamweight Jose Aldo, so we don't know how he's gonna handle 5 rounds. Maybe the weight cut. He says his weight cut at bantamweight is better than his weight cut at featherweight, so maybe he can go 5 rounds with no problem. But we don't know that. We've never seen him go 5 rounds in the bantamweight division. And Petr Yan, he's been 5 rounds just once against another Russian or someone, and he lost the fight. The only 5-round fight that he went to, he lost that one, and we haven't seen him go 5 rounds in the UFC. So there are a lot of questions about this fight that I don't know of, that I don't know the answer. I really hope Petr Yan wins this fight, because Jose Aldo, he is, although not, he's pretty young. I think he's in his late 20s or early in his 30s, but he's too old in this sport. Like, he's young, but he's too old in this sport. We need guys like Petr Yan, pretty new guy compared to relative to Jose Aldo, leading the bantamweight division. Not Jose Aldo. I don't want to see Jose Aldo ruling the bantamweight division. I really hope Petr Yan wins this one. However, I think Jose Aldo might be a little bit more technical than Petr Yan, and Jose Aldo has pretty good chin. I thought his chin was gonna be gone after he got knocked out by Conor McGregor, but I realized that it was just because he was Conor McGregor, because he has one of the best left hands in the business. And Petr Yan is I don't think Petr Yan is the most technical or the most clean striker in the UFC. I think he's less maybe more powerful than Jose Aldo, but maybe less experienced and less technical. So I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo. I really hope Petr Yan knocks him out. It's not because I hate Jose Aldo. I don't dislike Jose Aldo. I just want to see new guys ruling the bantamweight division. So we go up to the next fight, Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. I'm gonna go with Max Holloway. I picked Max Holloway to beat him in the first fight, and I'm gonna pick him again to win the second fight. Now, Alexander Volkanovski, I think he's a pretty good fighter. I think he's a very smart fighter. He's one of the smartest fighters in the UFC. Now, when I watched him fighting Chad Mendes, I didn't think he was fighting smart. He was like brawling with Chad Mendes, like he was trying to find out who has better chin. And Chad Mendes, at this point of his career, now he's retired, and he doesn't have the best chin. Like, he just doesn't have the best chin, and knocking out Chad Mendes is a little bit commendable, but it's not too commendable. And showing him knocking him out in every highlight, that's like showing Kamaru Usman knocking out a Brazilian, and Zhang Weili knocking out Jessica Andrade. Like UFC is pretending like they are knockout artists. Kamaru Usman and Alexander Volkanovski are not knockout artists. Sometimes they do get knockouts, but they are not knockout artists, okay? And Alexander Volkanovski, he's very smart, very technical, very good cardio. He has very good kicks, but not nearly as powerful as Jose Aldo, but he is very technical. And I think that's why he beat Jose Aldo and Max Holloway in the first fight. I think Jose Aldo and Max Holloway thought that Alexander Volkanovski was going to come out more aggressive than being so patient and so technical. I think Max Holloway was very surprised in the first fight and didn't know what to do about it. And another big factor was that after every round, his corner was saying that Max Holloway, Max, you won this fight, you won this round, and Max Holloway believed it. So after the fight, when the Bruce Buffer was announcing the scorecard, Max Holloway was convinced that he was winning the fight. I think one of the biggest factors that Max Holloway lost the fight was because his cornerman was saying that he was losing the fight when he was actually losing the fight in the scorecards. So I think in this fight, Max Holloway is gonna come out way more aggressive. I think he's gonna go for a finish. I don't know if he can get the finish against Alexander Volkanovski, but I think he is go for the finish when it comes to brawling or chin to chin. Power to power, striking volume to volume. I think Max Holloway is better. He's longer. He's bigger. He's just a better fighter. I think. I don't even know how he lost the first fight against Alexander Volkanovski. If Alexander Volkanovski wins the second fight against Max Holloway, I'll give it to him. Okay, I'll give it to him. But I just don't think that Volkanovski can Max Holloway in the rematch. So I think Max Holloway probably finishes him 40% and 60% decision. So we go up to the main event. Marty Fake Newsman versus Jorge Masvidal, aka Street Judas, aka 50-50 fighter. At first I thought Kamaru Usman was gonna maul Jorge Masvidal. And actually maybe he might actually maul Jorge Masvidal for 5 rounds like the way he just did to Rafael Dos Anjos or Tyron Woodley. That could actually happen. But I don't think even if Jorge Masvidal loses, I don't think he's gonna get dominated as Tyron Woodley. Jorge Masvidal is a fighter, but Tyron Woodley is an athlete. And Tyron Woodley, I don't think he has the best heart. I don't think he has the best cardio. I don't think he has he's more of an athlete than a fighter. And Jorge Masvidal is a fighter. He's a game bred. He's a true fighter. Now I think Kamaru Usman has 60% of winning this fight and Jorge Masvidal has 40% of winning this fight. However, I watched an interview of Dustin Poirier. It was done recently, and he revealed that Jorge Masvidal actually was training. He has been training for about 5 or 6 weeks, and he brought in the best wrestlers in his camp to prepare for Kamaru Usman. And he's not just off a couch and taking the fight. He is actually prepared, and that people would be surprised by how good of a shape Jorge Masvidal is in. And that made me change my mind. I think if Jorge Masvidal can defend like at least 50% of Kamaru Usman's takedown, I think he can definitely win this fight. Pure striking wise, I think Jorge Masvidal is like 200 times better than Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is not a knockout artist. He's not the most technical striker. When he was fighting Emil Mick, when he was getting pressured, he didn't know what to do. He just had to take him down. And Jorge Masvidal, I think if Jorge Masvidal pressures Kamaru Usman, I think it will be very, very problematic to Kamaru Usman. And Kamaru Usman, he clinches up a lot. And Jorge Masvidal has one of the most lethal elbows in the clinches. He's just a fighter. He's very brutal. The way he fights, he has this killer instinct. When he gets when his opponent is hurt, they're done. Maybe Kamaru Usman survives by taking him down with a double leg or a single leg, but I think once Jorge Masvidal hurts Kamaru Usman, 100% Kamaru Usman is gonna shoot for the takedown. And if Jorge Masvidal I think he might be able to defend it when Marty Fake Newsman is hurt. I really think it can go both ways. We would find out that Kamaru Usman is just a different animal and he just mauls Jorge for Street Judas for 5 rounds. Or we could see Jorge Masvidal knocking out Kamaru Usman. It's very interesting. But I think that Jorge Masvidal is ready for this fight. Especially after hearing what Dustin Poirier said. I don't think he would have taken this fight if he wasn't prepared at all. I don't think he had a full camp, but I think he had like a 85 or 80% of a camp. And he's not like he doesn't have the worst cardio. He doesn't have the best cardio, but he has very good cardio, very good knockout power, very good chin, very good understanding of jiu-jitsu. Damian Maia said that himself. So I just think that Jorge Masvidal is going to knock out Kamaru Usman, or maybe by decision. I think Jorge Masvidal wins by 85% knockout and 15% decision. I could definitely see Kamaru Usman just mauling, dismantling Jorge Masvidal. But I just think that it's Jorge Masvidal time. Yeah, and that's all for my prediction. Hope you enjoyed my prediction, and thanks for watching.